Hi everyone, it's Kyle here. Today I'm going to be giving you a Zulrah guide for those of you that have never done it before, those of you that are new to it, like I am actually. It was just released yesterday, so it's going to be, a stand-in guide until, some pro comes along like Nelly and shows us all up. So anyways, we're going to get straight into it. I'm going to give myself a brew really quick. Alright, so here's the inventory setup. That's going to be overload, obviously. If you don't have overloads, you can create them with Herblore and get them from packs in the PVM shop. These are Ceridome and brews, so I'm using these because it's 6 doses of healing instead of 1 per food item, and then the restores to give me back the stats that are reduced by the brews, obviously. I have Zulrah scales in the inventory because the boss drops them a lot, and I don't want to have to keep dropping an item to pick them up, so I just keep a stack here to keep accumulating them. We're going to go to the mage inventory or the mage setup first, and then I'll show you the range. So the first thing you're going to notice is the Onyx Ring Imbued and the Barrow's Gloves. The reason I'm running these is because they're hybrid and they can work for both combat styles, mage and range, that I'll be using throughout the fight. Through the rest of the gear, for the aura, I'm using Supreme Runic Accuracy, which is obviously because you splash a lot with magic. It's not very strong in this game. It's actually the weakest of the 3 combat styles in this source. Completion Escape, obviously it's hybrid, tribrid, whatever you're going to need it for, and it's best in slot for every combat style. Arcane Stream Necklace, you can get this from Dungeoneering for 45,000 Dungeoneering tokens. It provides a 15% damage boost on your magic, as well as the staff of the Armadyl Battle Staff here. It also gives you 15% damage increase. And the reason I'm running this is because I'm also using the spell Storm of Armadyl for my primary magic damage output. This staff can be obtained from Glockors whenever you assemble 100 shards of Armadyl, which are a 1 in 22 drop from Glockors. I have Celestial top and bottom, as well as Hood for good range or mage accuracy, I guess. And then General Griss's Tome is the best in slot offhand that I own. I believe it's the best in game. Then for the boots, we have Eternal Boots. These are best in slot magic. And with all those together, we're going to get plus 153 magic, which could be made a little bit better if I had a Seer's Ring imbued and Spellcaster gloves and then a Celestial Staff, but I want the damage boost because look, plus 30%, you can crit almost 700s with this, so that's the reasoning for the stuff I'm using. Then on to the range setup. We're going to be running Pernix with Anguish and Royal Crossbow, as well as Zamorak's Unholy Book. Which I believe is the best in slot range offhand for range bonus. So altogether we're going to be using Pernix and then the hybrid items, and then Royal Crossbow, you can get this from Queen Black Dragon. It's not as easy as it used to be due to cannons being removed from there, but you assemble all the royal pieces together onto a Coral Crossbow and you get this. And then Ruby E for max damage. The specs hit for pretty high on Zulrah. I hit a 700 something earlier. I'm not sure what the cap is, but it was pretty good. So, some of the mechanics in the fight that you're going to need to watch out for before we go in are the attack styles changing, the snakelings, and the clouds of gas. They're going to be white clouds that form in the middle of the map. When we go in there, I'm going to show you where to stand and just give tips throughout the fight for people that have never done it before. So the first thing you want to do is start with mage, because every time I've ever gone in there, it starts with mage. So that's what we're going to do. These are the prayers that I'm running. Augury, which you can get from Dungeoneering as well, and Rigor, which will be for range. They both boost your accuracy and defense in their respective styles. I'm going to be praying from range. I'm going to be running Steel Skin for increased defense, and I run this just because I have unlimited prayer. I know not everyone does, but it'll heal me throughout the fight passively while I'm going through it if I get hit by the snakelings. Because if you switch your prayers correctly, you're never going to get hit by Zulrah. or not very commonly. Sometimes it'll hit you with a style that it's not supposed to. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's just to keep people from blazing through the kill, but anyways, enough about that. Let's get on to the actual fight. So make sure you have your range prayer on, make sure you have your spell. You can autocast or you can click one at a time. I prefer autocast because sometimes phases last a while. But let's get into the fight and see how it goes. So when you first get in here, you're going to need to stand right here. This is going to be the first place you stand, and you're going to start attacking Zulrah. I usually keep my prayers open so I can switch right away, because the three things that it can switch to are obviously this, which is hitting for range damage and is weak to mage. It can hit for melee damage, which is weak to both styles, and it can hit for mage, which is weak to range. So yellow is obviously the ranged phase. This is the melee phase here. Weak to both styles, like I said. When he starts swinging his tail like that, you need to move over at least 2 spaces or you're going to hit for 200 damage and you will get stunned. Usually the melee lasts for 2 phases and then it switches to one of the other styles. This is the range that I was talking. It's weak to range that I was talking about. It's going to hit for mage, and range is pretty weak here for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it is. So that's basically the whole fight, except for the 2 things that I talked about earlier, which were the snakelings and the gas, which you just saw hit me for 40, and here are the snakelings as well. They will hit you for a random combat style. It doesn't matter what prayer you're using. They can hit you with both combat styles that you're not praying against. So you should never be praying melee on this phase, like right here, because the only thing that's going to hit you for is this swinging tail if you don't move. And you saw those gas clouds spawn behind me, which if you don't move from them will stack you out over and over again for 40 damage and can pretty easily kill you if you're not moving. Like it does a lot of damage, so just be aware of that. I think that's pretty much it for the mechanics of the fight. I usually switch a lot faster and do a lot better when I'm not recording, but I'm trying to keep track of what I'm saying and what I'm clicking at the same time. One thing that I'm not using that I could be if I had it is a Ring of Suffering that would go in our ring slot. Basically just for the ability to do recoil damage to things that are attacking you. Like the snakelings, they're not always going to hit you, but when they do, they only have 10 health, so it could pretty easily kill anything that's hitting you since they hit you for like 200 to 300 something damage, which is what I talked about earlier. So if you wanted to get one of those, you would need a Zenite Shard and an Uncut Onyx, or a Crafted Onyx, and you could get the Zenite Shard from Demonic Gorillas, which are really annoying to kill. There's a really great guide out on the forums by Nelly if you needed to know how to do that. But basically, that is the whole kill right there. I just got snakeskin for the first time. I don't know what I could do with that. But here's the Zulrah scales. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You keep the stack here. So that's basically the whole fight. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm new to killing Zulrah. That was my 31st kill. Nothing special. Just a little guide to help people out that are new to it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.